100 rated chess. But your pieces and pawns cannot stay on opponent's territory. You can only trespass and then immediately retreat on the very next move. My opponent is Donald Trump. We get a 100 rated guy from Mexico. Very relatable. E3. E5. So based on the challenge, my pawns cannot enter my opponent's territory. I mean, they obviously cannot retreat due to the global chess rules. I will eventually consider sacrificing them for free tempos. Queen h5. Very aggressive. As I am considering sacrificing my pawns, he immediately moved his queen to attack one. So I guess d5. I'm sorry, Edward, but your sacrifice is for the greater good. Edward is dead. Bishop e6. With his queen in the center of the board, maybe I can even capture it for a quick victory. Bishop b5 check. c6. On second thought, I should have blocked with the knight instead, because as the global rules of chess suggested, the knights are only strong if they are placed deep inside opponent's territory, which is very unsuitable for this kind of challenge. Bishop a4. So I played bishop e6 to block his check because I didn't want to blunder my g-pawn, but now when I rethink about it, the pawns are genuinely useless anyway. Bishop d6. Tempos for the win. Queen takes g7. Queen f6. Take knight f3. Rook g8. Knight g5. Very aggressive. That blunders a knight, and since that knight is blundered inside my territory, rook takes g5. As a matter of fact, the challenge has not even been activated once. c3. Aha! Here we go. That blunders the g-pawn, and even though I am a bit skeptical about the risk being put on the video survivability, as always, I am not a coward. Rook takes g2. Alright, I have to retreat that rook on the very next move. In no world do you go bishop takes c6 check now. I never had any doubts. Rook g8. Maybe he wanted to attack my h-pawn. I'll put the rook here to act as a bait. Exactly. That blunders a bishop. Knight a3. Knight g5. I'll give a check and immediately retreat. There is no way for him to stop this unless he voluntarily moves his king before it is even checked. Rook g1. Okay, I spoke too soon. Even though he blunders a rook in two different ways, my knight cannot stay in his territory for more than one move, so it turns out that he is actually pinning my knight to my rook. If knight f3 king e2, my only choice is to go back to g5 again, and then there is h4 winning a knight. Bishop takes h2 instead. Maybe he couldn't see all the tactics in the previous move, but there is physically no way he cannot see the bishop that is right next to it. Never mind. Retreat is forced. This game is going very wrong very quickly. Knight d4. I'll resolve the pinned knight first. King f8. Rook g3. This guy is literally requesting me to capture his rook, but I cannot do it right now because there may be knight takes c6 check ending the video. Bishop d7 first. Knight f3. Okay, now there is knight takes f3 check. But since the challenge forces me to retreat my pieces instead of leaving them dead in the opponent's territory, f6 instead. Knight h4. I'll reposition my bishop. Knight f5. Bishop c7. d4. Bishop h5. Alright. At least now there is a piece controlling some critical squares around his king. Now I can also consider to just brute force the mid lane. e4. Knight d7. If he takes, I'll develop the rook. If he pushes, I'll sacrifice my knight just to keep the file open. He abandoned the game. Why? Well, who cares anyway? Mission accomplished.